Welcome back to my playground. I'm so glad you're here. This is the place where we play, we cry, we laugh, and we discover new tools together. It is where we excavate deeper to reconnect with peace, with love, with joy, with truth, abundance that is already in us. This is the place where we find who we really are beneath all the noise. So take a breath, relax, and let's explore together. And I want to start by saying something to you that the personal growth space will not say, because the personal growth space depends on the specific story to sell you the next course, the next mastermind, the next round of coaching that is supposed to finally get you to the thing that you already know how to do. The story is this: you are stuck because you don't have enough information. You're stuck because you have not yet learned the right strategy. You're stuck because something is missing from your toolkit. And once you invest in the thing that it will bring the breakthrough, everything will be solved. That story is a lie. And you already know it's a lie because you have bought the thing more than one time. And the breakthrough did not come. Or it came for a week, or maybe it came for a month. And then you went right back to the old way, the smaller way, the way that it does not cost you anything, not financially, not emotionally, not relationships, because it does not ask you to become someone that the people around you does not recognize. You keep choosing comfort, not because you are lazy, not because you are not committed, not because you don't want the thing badly enough. I have sat with women who want so badly that they can taste it, who cry in my office describing the vision, who they absolutely know with clarity that the vision is real, that is on the other side of the decision that they keep not making. You keep choosing comfort because the part of you that makes the decision in the moment is the part of you that is faster than your conscious intention. That part acts before you have time to think. It does not experience comfort as comfort. It experiences comfort as safety. In safety, the nervous system's non-negotiable requirement for survival always overrides growth when the two are perceived to be in conflict. This is not a mindset problem. This is a biology problem. And the woman who tries to solve biology problem with a mindset solution will fail every time. Not because she's weak, but because she's using the wrong tool on the wrong layer of the architecture. And today I'm going to take apart the specific structure that it keeps pulling you back to comfort, not with judgment, not with tired instruction to just do it even if you're scared, but with the precision of someone who has sat across hundreds of women and watched the exact moment where the old choice wins over the new one. This is This is the reset. This is the truth. And I need to redefine comfort because the word it has been so flattened by the comfort zone memes and motivational content that it has lost its actual meaning. And without the real meaning, you cannot understand why you keep choosing it. Comfort, in a way that most people use the word, it means ease, absence of difficulty, a warm couch when you are tired, a familiar routine when the day is unpredictable. The known, the predictable, the under demanding. This is the surface definition and is accurate on the surface. But below the surface, in the architecture of your nervous system, where actual decisions about your behavior are being made, comfort means something entirely different. Comfort means predictable, familiar, known. And in that language of the brain that is wired for survival, known means safe. The brain is a prediction machine. It is primary function above thinking, above creating, above achieving is predicting what will happen next and preparing the body to respond. It builds models of reality based on repeat experience, and it uses those models to generate fast, automatic responses that it will keep you alive in a world that it perceives as a potential threat. The comfort zone psychology that it actually governs your choices is not about feeling good. It's about feeling certain. It is about inhabiting a reality that your brain has already mapped Where the outcomes are known, the risks are known, the pain is known. Because the known, even when it's painful, is predictable. And the predictable is manageable. The predictable is survivable. The predictable does not trigger the threat detection system that it lives in your amygdala, and it can override your entire prefrontal cortex in less than 100 milliseconds. Growth, the real kind, the kind that actually changes the trajectory of your business and your life, is the opposite of predictable. It is the unknown, the territory where the brain has no model, no prediction, no automatic response prepared. Into a prediction machine that is unmapped territory is indistinguishable from danger. Not because it is dangerous, but because it's uncertain. And uncertainty in the hardwired logic of the survival brain is the most expensive state that you can inhabit. It costs more energy, more attention, more resources than any other state. The brain experiences uncertainty the way the body experiences physical threat. Elevated heart rate, cortisol spike, tunnel vision, impulse to retreat. This is why you keep choosing comfort, not because you are weak, but because your brain is doing exactly what it's designed to do. It is choosing the known over the unknown, the predictable pain over the unpredictable possibility. It is choosing survival. But here's the thing about survival that no one teaches you. Survival is not the same as living. Survival is the floor. It is the minimum. It is the architecture that it keeps you alive through whatever you have to survive. The childhood, the marriage, the financial crisis, the period where holding it together was the only option because falling apart was not affordable. And the woman who builds her entire business from the survival architecture, who makes every decision through the filter of what is at least threatening to the nervous system, builds a business that it looks exactly like her comfort zone. It's small enough to manage, predictable enough to endure, safe enough to survive, and then 10 times smaller than the vision that she keeps waking up at 3 in the morning, because something in her knows that she was made for more than survival. Drop the word comfort in the comments right now if what I just described is the exact architecture of your business, if you can see it with the painful clarity. That is the ceiling you keep hitting, and not a market problem or a strategy problem, but a comfort problem. I read every comment and I want to know what is true for you. Comfort does not look the same in every woman. It wears different faces depending upon which survival strategy you particularly system adopted. And you need to identify your specific face because the intervention depends on which one is running. 5 faces. And I'm going to name them with the specific they deserve. Phase number 1, the comfort of staying small. The most common phase of comfort in the women that I work with, the business that stays at a certain revenue level. Not because you cannot generate more, but because generating more will require a version of you that the nervous system has not approved yet. The visibility that it stays at a certain reach. Not because the algorithm is against you, but because the next level of visibility activates the threat response that it says, if more people see you, more people can harm you. The authority that it stays just below the threshold where it will actually shift the room. Not because you lack the knowledge, but because the woman who commands a room is the woman who has been told that she was too much. Fear of success is not what this is. That phrase is too clean, too cognitive. This is fear of consequences of being fully seen, the rejection, the judgment, the isolation, the loss of relationship agreements that they were built around your smallness, the husband who married the woman who did not earn him, the family who loved the woman who did not challenge the hierarchy, the friends who supported the woman who was struggling alongside with them, not accelerating past them. Staying small is the comfort of belonging, and the price is a life that is 10% of your actual capacity. Phase number 2, the comfort of over-preparing. The second phase is the one that is most often mistaken for discipline. The woman who researches for 6 months before launching, who takes one more certification before offering the service, who checks the offer page 14 times before publishing, who has the content calendar planned to perfection but never hits post because it's not quite ready yet. This looks like checking everything to make sure we're ready and we're perfect. It gets praised as a professionalism. It feels responsible, but the architecture underneath is pure comfort zone because preparation is control and execution is not. Preparation is where everything knows how it's going to go and is being controlled. You can research without being seen. You can plan without being judged. You can refine without being rejected. Preparation does not trigger the threat response because the outcome is still private, it's still contained, it's still safely inside the nervous system. Execution is the unmapped territory. The moment you publish, you are visible. The moment you launch, you're vulnerable. The moment you're priced, you are being evaluated. The moment you speak, you are rejectable. In the brain, the beautiful, overprotected, historically justified prediction machine will manufacture infinity preparation to delay the moment of exposure. The price of this phase is the life that it passes while you get ready for the life that you were already built for. Phase number 3, the comfort of the struggle. The third phase is the one that it will make you the most uncomfortable because this phase of comfort does not look comfortable at all. It looks like struggle. It looks like grinding. It looks like the woman who is always working, always pushing, always one more effort away from the breakthrough that never quite arrives. This is comfort because the struggle is familiar. If you grew up in a household where love was earned through effort, where rest it was indulgent, where ease was suspicious, where the only way to belong was to be the one who worked the hardest and carry the most, then struggle is home. Struggle is the known. Struggle is the pattern that the prediction machine has in it so deeply. Ease is the threat. Ease is the unmapped territory. The moment the business starts to flow, the month the revenue comes without the grinding, the week that the clients enroll without the chase, the season where work feels lighter than the survival architecture can justify, the nervous system panics. Not because anything is wrong, but because ease is wrong according to the old prediction. Ease means you're not earning your place. Ease means the older shoe is about to drop. Ease means you are about to lose the belonging that the struggle was designed to secure. Success mindset cannot touch this phase of comfort because this phase is not in the mind, it is in the body. It is the specific somatic discomfort of a day where nothing goes wrong. The restless, the guilt, the low grade anxiety that it says, if it's not hard, it is not real. If it is not costing you, it is not yours. The price of this phase is the exhaustion that it comes from fighting a war that it ended years ago. And the compounding loss of the revenue, the ease, the joy, and the sustainability that exists on the other side of the belief that struggle is the only legitimate path to belonging. Phase number 4, the comfort of the circle that it does not challenge you. The fourth phase is the environmental, the people that you help build your life around, the mastermind group, the family system, the professional network who know the old you, who relate to the old you, who are comfortable with the old you, who, when you start to change, respond not with celebration, but with the specific, often unconscious pressure to return to the version of you that it makes the relationship work. This is comfort because the known relation dynamic, even when it's limiting you, even when it's painful, even when you can't feel the ceiling in those places on your growth, is predictable. You know the rules. You know the cost of the membership. You know what is expected and what is punished. And the comfort zone of the known social dynamic is one of the most powerful forces in human behavior because belonging is not a preference, it is a survival requirement. The brain registers social rejection as a physical pain, literally. The same neural circuits that it processes a broken arm process exclusion from the tribe, leaving the circle that it does not challenge you, or more precisely, outgrowing it, is one of the most threatening experiences that the nervous system can undergo. It is the threat of exile. And the woman who chooses growth over belonging in the moment of activation is choosing a path that the survival brain interprets as a potential fatal. She's not overreacting. She's running a prediction that it was accurate for most of a human history. Exile meant death. The update, the exile from the old circle means entry into the new one. That outgrowing belonging is actually the part for finding the next one. It has not yet been integrated into the body's threat detection system. The price of this phase is the company you keep determining that the ceiling you reach. And the woman who will not leave the circle that holds her at the old level will not reach the new one. Not because she lacks talent, because she lacks context. Phase number 5, the comfort of knowing what is wrong. The fifth phase is the most hidden and the most insidious. And I need you to stay with me on here because this is the one that it will challenge you. You are comfortable knowing what is wrong, not comfortable with the pain of it. The genuine suffering that the pattern produces is real, but comfortable with the explanation of it, comfortable with the diagnosis, comfortable with the story of why you are stuck, what happened to you, what is the block, where it came from, comfortable in the identity of the woman who is doing the work, who is aware, who can name the pattern with the precision of someone who has been in therapy for years. Because knowing what is wrong, having the language, the framework, the self awareness is a form of control. And control is comfortable. If you can explain the pattern, you understand it. And if you understand it, you have a relationship with it. And if you have a relationship with that, it is not random, not chaotic, not overwhelming. It is a known entity. And the known, as we established, is what the nervous system prefers to the unknown. Why you stay stuck is not because you don't know what the pattern is. It is because knowing the pattern has become a substitute for changing it. The awareness has become the comfort and the thing that you are avoiding. The thing that is genuinely, somatically, existentially, and uncomfortable is the moment after you change. The moment where the old pattern is no longer running in the new way that it has not yet become familiar. The blank space, the space between the old identity and the new one, the space where you do not have an explanation yet, where you have not mapped out the territory, where you are for a specific disorienting stretch of time, a woman without a pattern. That space is the most threatened place in the entire transformation. And the comfort of knowing what is wrong is the most sophisticated defense against entering. The price of this phase is the woman who's perpetually almost there, the one with the most self awareness in the room and the least actual change in her life. The one who can name every pattern and is still running all of them. The one who is so fluent in the language of healing that she has mistaken fluency for freedom. Go to therealnextlevel.com and apply if one of these 5 phases is the one that you have been wearing, the one that you have been calling something else, the one that is costing you the version of your business and your life that you came here to build. Tell me which phase. Tell me what is costing you. I read every application, and the woman who is ready to drop the comfort and enter the unknown will not be turned away. Now, the architecture, not a motivation speech, a mechanism. The specific, repeatable body level process for overriding the comfort impulse in the moment where the decision is actually made. 3 movements in order, because the order is the entire point. Movement number 1, name the comfort in the moment it calls. The comfort impulse moves faster than conscious thought. By the time you're aware that you are about to choose the old way, the choice has often already been executed. The email has been sent. The price has been discounted. The post has been saved as a draft instead of publishing it. The conversation has been redirected away from the truth and towards the management of the other person's comfort. The first movement is the deceleration, the moment you slow the impulse enough to see it. You do this by naming it, not analyzing it, not tracing it to the origin, not doing therapy on yourself in the moment of activation. One word, comfort. That is what it is. This is comfort calling. This is the old prediction activating again. This is the nervous system choosing the known because the known is safer than the unknown. Naming it creates the gap. And the gap is where the possibility of different choices lives in. Without naming it, the impulse runs to completion automatically. With the naming, even a half a second of naming it, the prefrontal cortex has time to enter the conversation. The conscious mind arrives, and the choice becomes a choice rather than a reflex. Leaving comfort zone does not begin with action. It begins with awareness. Specifically, the awareness that the thing that you're about to do is not the right move, not the strategy move, not the aligned move. It is the comfortable move. And the comfortable move and the right move are almost never the same when you are building something that exceeds your current architecture. Practice this with the small choices first. The email that you're about to be very soft on it, the boundary that you're about to let it slide, the content that you're about to over edit it, name it comfort. That one word, that one post, that is the beginning of the exit. Movement number 2, feel the threat that the growth choice activates. The second movement is the one that separates genuine transformation from temporary motivation. It is the one that the motivational content will never teach you because it requires you to do the exact opposite of what the motivation tells you to do. The motivation says, push through the fear. Feel the fear and do it anyway. Just do it scared. The truth, the fear is information. And until you listen to it, it will keep generating the same impulse to retreat. When you name the comfort and stay in that threshold of the growth choice, the threat response activates. Not because the growth choice is dangerous, but because the prediction machine does not have enough data to confirm that it is safe. The body registered the unknown as a threat until it has evidence to something different. The practice. Instead of pushing past the threat response, feel it. It's specifically somatic. Where is it? What is the sensation? Where is the tightness in your chest? A collapse in the belly? A heat in the throat? Where is the stress in the jaw? Embracing discomfort does not mean tolerating it. It means entering, becoming specific about it. Because the specific sensation is the body's way of communicating the exact nature of the perceived threat. The tightness in the chest when you're about to publish is different from the collapse in the belly when you're about to price. And each one traces back to a different prediction, a different old agreement, a different survival architecture. When you feel the sensation with the specific, not running from it, not numbing it, not overriding it with affirmations, two things happen. First, the nervous system registers that you're attending to a signal, which it begins to deactivate the threat response. The system escalates when its signals are ignored and de-escalates when they are received. Second, you gain information about the specific prediction that is firing, which it tells you what evidence the nervous system will need in order to update the prediction and allow the growth choice without triggering a threat response. This is the real comfort zone psychology, not the memes, not the inspirational quotes, but the precise body level process of updating the prediction model so the growth stops being experienced as a threat and starts being experienced as an option. Movement number 3. Take the step while it still feels like threat, with support. The third movement is the actual crossing, the moment where you make the growth choice. What the nervous system is still registering is dangerous. And here's the thing that almost every personal growth framework gets wrong. They treat this as an individual act, a test courage, a metric of commitment. And if you're really committed, you will do it alone. The human nervous system is a social system. It regulates through co-regulation, the presence of another regulated nervous system that communicates the safety through tone, through rhythm, through the specific nonverbal signals that it have been keeping humans alive for hundreds of thousands of years. The woman who tries to make the growth choice alone, without a coach, without a community, without witnesses, is asking her nervous system to override a threat response in isolation, which is the most demanding context in which to do it. Stepping outside your comfort zone is not supposed to be a solo act. It is supposed to be witnessed, supported, co-regulated. The presence of someone who has already made the crossing or of someone can hold the space while you make it is not a luxury. It is the infrastructure. It is the difference between the nervous system interpreting the growth as a choice, as an isolated threat, And interpreting is a supported exploration. Take the step, but not alone. Have the conversation, but not without someone who can hold the aftermath. Publish the content, price the offer, set the boundary, make the choice that the old prediction says that is dangerous, but do it with a regulated nervous system near you, a person, a community, a coach whose presence communicates to your body you are not alone in this. The threat is a memory. The safety is real. And I am here while you discover that. This is why the application exists, not as a transactional bridge. The woman who applies to work with me is not buying information. She's building the infrastructure around the crossing, the personal growth journey that it actually produces the change, not just awareness, not just language, but actual structural compounding change requires a container. And the container is not optional. And the container is not optional. It is the mechanism. Subscribe right now because the conversation about how to actually, not aspirationally, not theoretically, but actually step out of the comfort zone and survive the nervous system response is the conversation that lives here every week. Subscribe and stay. Let me show you what she looks like. The woman on the other side of the crossing. Not a woman without fear, a woman without the old architecture. She still feels the comfort impulse. The prediction machine still fires up when the growth choice shows up. The tightens, the pull towards the known, the specific seductive voice that it says this is not the right time. You need more information. You should wait until you are more ready. The voice has not gone silent, but it has lost its authority because she has crossed enough times with awareness, with a specificity, with support that the prediction model has updated. The nervous system has accumulated enough evidence that the growth choice does not produce the catastrophe that the old prediction warned about. The published content did not result in rejection. The held price did not result in abandonment. The spoken truth did not result in exile. The new client at the new level did not expose her as a fraud. Each crossing deposited evidence into the model, and the model slowly, irreversible, revised its prediction. And now, when the growth choice shows up, the threat response is quieter, shorter, less convincing. Not because she forced it into silence, but because their body learned through direct, repeated somatic experience that the old danger is no longer present. The new way is survivable. The unknown is not fatal. And the comfort, real comfort, the kind that it does not cost you division, is available on the other side of the crossing, not as a retreat, but as a place to rest between expansions. Her business reflects the shift. The revenue that it will not be present, it will begin to move. Not because she found the right strategy, but because she stopped choosing the old comfort of every decision point. The content that it felt forced becomes natural, not because she learned a better content method, but because the visibility no longer triggers the threat response that she was editing her voice into something smaller. The clients who used to negotiate her price stopped negotiating, not because the market changed, but because the energy around her pricing changed. And the energy changed because her nervous system stopped threatening full pricing as a threat to belonging. She did not become fearless. She became practice it. In practice, the specific repeated support practice of choosing growth while the comfort impulse is still activates is what it actually changes the architecture. Not insight, not declaration, not motivation, practice. The overcoming fear that the self-help industry sells is a myth. Fear does not get overcome. It gets outgrown. One evidence, one deposit at a time, one crossing at a time, one regulated, supported witness choice at a time into the prediction model simply stops generating it in the context where it has been repeatedly disconfirmed. That is the woman who stopped choosing comfort, not the woman who never felt the pull, the woman who felt it, named it, felt the threat that it was protecting, and took the step anyways, with the right support in the right container, enough times that the old architecture released its grip. Before I let you go today, I want to say the truest thing that I can about comfort. Comfort is the most expensive thing in your life. Not because it costs money, though it does, The revenue you do not generate because you keep underpricing. The clients you do not enroll because you keep over preparing. The rich you do not build because you keep editing yourself into safety. Comfort costs you money, but that is not the real price. The real price of comfort is the woman who do not become. The specific, irreplaceable, once in a history woman who was going to build the thing that only she can build. The offer that only her, particularly suffering and particularly healing and particularly genius, could produce. And who keeps not building it because the building requires her to leave the known. And the known is where the nervous system feels safe. You were not put here to be safe. You were put here to be whole. And wholeness lives on the other side of every comfort choice that you keep not making. The pricing conversation you're avoiding, the one that you have rehearsed 100 times, that is the frontier. The content that you have not published because it's the most honest thing you have ever written, that is the crossing. The offer you keep refinishing instead of launching it, that is the threshold. The circle that you have outgrown, but you will not leave because leaving feels like dying. That is the edge between the woman that you have been and the woman you came here to be. You can stay. The comfort will always have you. The known will always welcome you back. The old pattern will always be there, running in the background, ready to execute the moment growth choice feels like too much. Or you can cross, not alone, not without trembling, but with awareness, with support, and with the specific, earned, unshakable knowledge that the comfort you are choosing is not protecting you from danger, it's protecting you from becoming. 3 things before you go. If today's episode named the specific phase of a comfort that it has been running your business or your life, or if you saw yourself in one of these 5 phases and felt the specific uncomfortable recognition of being seen, like this video right now. One tap, because there is a woman watching who is about to choose the old way one more time. And your one tap is how she finds the permission to choose differently. Leave a comment with the words, I choose the crossing, because the declaration is spoken before you are ready, before the new way is comfortable, before the nervous system has updated its prediction. That in itself is an act of crossing. A vote cast in the direction of the woman who you are becoming. I read every comment, I will see yours. And if you are ready to build the infrastructure around the crossing, if you know which phase of comfort is costing you the most, and you are ready to do the specific guided one-on-one work of updating the prediction model so the growth is stop feeling like a threat and starts feeling like home, go to therealnextlevel.com and apply. Tell me which phase. Tell me what the comfort has cost. Tell me what you see on the other side. I read every application, and the woman who's ready to cross will not be turned away. Subscribe if you are not already. The excavation continues every week, and the woman you are becoming needs a community that it chooses growth with her. Not for her, not instead of her, but beside her. Thank you for being here and for allowing yourself this time to play, to explore, to heal, and discover. And I will see you next time here on the same playground. Until then, be gentle with yourself and keep remembering who you are. I will see you on the next episode. Yellow diamonds in the